I'm glad everyone's here to witness the shit show that is Graham. We are live on the intranets, people. Take this shit seriously, people.
Oh, nice. You didn't tell me there was the countdown and everything. Normally,
I said we're going into the countdown.
Oh, okay. Well, normally, like good producers do the 5, 4.
Okay, hold on, ready?
2.
Hold on, ready?
Mm-hmm.
And you're live.
Yeah. Well, that's you normally give me the finger for my 1, so.
Oh, they say we're late. We're not late. We're late by a minute and a half. Oh, hi, John Benson.
Don't, John. Do you know what the outside
Are your ears
noise?
burning, John?
John. It's you and me, buddy. It's you and me.
Don't get me out of salmon. It's me too, bud.
The seas are rising uncontrollably.
She was wrong. I told her she was wrong. That is all there is to it. Make sure you know that.
I defended Your Honor too, John.
You will always be the Sam's International Man of Mystery.
That's right.
I have never said anything different.
You know
Love
what happens if the sea rises?
What?
Makes it easier to catch the fish. He doesn't even have to bend over. He can just reach out and grab one. That's a terrible climate change joke.
Oh, Shore Billy here. He goes, "What's up, fuckers?" Actually, no, technically, sup, fuckers.
Sup, fuckers. Okay.
Shore Billy. Well, we have you. I don't think you listened to what was it? The
EFL.
pre-show on the EFL show.
Yeah.
But there was a big whole thing that Houston confessed, and you weren't there for it. So I guess
Is that
we're
when
not
he was
gonna
going to
cover it
bed
again.
the other day?
Yeah, that's
right.
when he checked out. We're like, "Are you there? Are you there? We're going to talk about you," and he just wasn't. So
So Shore Billy.
no. He doesn't get to know now. Whiskey Dick.
That's a tell.
Do you like nuggets, man?
He says I'll go back and listen to it.
Okay, very good. Well, that's fine. We'll go with that then. Are we ready to do a fucking show? Let's just do a fucking show.
One day the show won't exist anymore. Yeah, I'm ready.
Oh, for fuck's sake. You gotta
The cycle
get
of
over
fucking
this, man.
life.
You gotta get over this. This is dreadful.
One day we'll all last our life.
Can't even fucking deal with it.
This is Villanista Nicole, and I'm just waiting for Mel to pass on so I can be Big Sam's second wife. You're listening to DU Football Show.
Sounds like it's gonna be sooner rather than later, too.
Jesus Christ, the amount of existential dread she's fucking dealing with right
My
now.
God.
I told her she was acting like Kitty from that 70s show, the up and downs with the whole circle of life thing going
Oh,
on.
shit. So when does she start the pills and booze at noon?
After we start the show.
Born in the land of Bowie, Maryland. Bred to be a fan of fucking Everton. Punch you in the eye and drink your rye. Sam Houston.
Sam Houston?
Arsenal fans have another Sam. AKA the fucking Gooner Graham. Stump of a lord. Look straight in shorts. Sam Graham, hey.
Sam Graham.
Fucking United! Fucking United!
Hello and welcome to the DU Football Show, a completely biased recap of the English Premier League as told by two common American schmucks.
That's us.
I am your host, Sam Houston, and across the way from me, no matter how much advice I give him, he'll never fucking take it.
No.
My co-host, Mr. Samuel Graham.
Told you, I'm already living that life, man.
Just,
The rules change every day.
you know, hey, when you have that fourth when you have that fourth girl, just know, I'm not laughing with you. I'm laughing at you. We're recording at the DU Public House just outside the nation's capital. You can check us out wherever you get your podcasts. And, of course, streaming live every single Monday night with all the good people that are watching. Should you want to chat with us, there's many ways that you can. Mr. Graham, tell the good people how they can get in touch.
Absolutely. It is at DU Football Show on all the social media. DUFootballShow@gmail.com to get in touch via email. And then make sure you're joining that closed Facebook group. That's where all the hashtag bants are. One of my favorites today was likening Garnacho from Manchester United with superimposed Michael Jackson's face on it because they have the same chiseled cheekbones, and it's brilliant.
And then, of course...
it's Drunken United FC on Facebook. Find that group and be a part of it.
And, of course, Rio Ferdinand being handled. That got put up a couple, 2-3 times in the group. It was very, very interesting.
A lot of fun stuff.
And, of course, Smokey being, the supportive friend that he is, making it a point to mock my team mercilessly. You know.
Yeah.
That's okay. The good news that I do know is that it's only a matter of time before West Ham fuck it off and he'll be crying and desperate and wanting to jump off the fucking, the Grand
Whatever
Canyon
sand
again.
dune he is out there in the desert, he's got to jump off of.
Absolutely the case. Sam and myself both work in the wine and spirit industry and both have a deep, passionate love for all things distilled spirits. So as the red-blooded Americans we are, we vow to have a drink in our hand throughout this show and every single show. We are on to number 8 on Whiskey Advocate's Top 20. This was phenomenal, neat, and I have really know nothing about it other than the house that makes it. So I'm very excited to hear about this. This whiskey.
Same. And I'm really excited to see what the water does to it too. It was delicious, neat. I want to see how it opens up and expands. This is the Glenmorangie A Tale of the Forest. This comes in at 92 proof. It should run you right around $100. I found it for 100 United States dollars.
There we
go. It was pretty decent. Your blurb this week comes from Jeffrey Lindenmuth. And they also, the tasting panel at Whiskey Advocate, rated it a 94. Obviously, I probably should have told you this. Glenmorangie, I just figure people know this. It is a single malt Highland Scotch.
Whiskey without the E.
Under master distiller turned mad scientist Dr. Bill Lumsden, Glenmorangie has earned its position at the avant-garde of Scotch. While not every one of his experiments goes as planned, this expression should please traditionalists and adventurous drinkers alike. The familiar sweetness of vanilla and orange is draped with complex aromas created by kilning. What's kilning?
That's the smoking of the barley.
I thought it was. Oh yeah. Okay. I've never seen that used as a verb. That's what threw me.
Heard.
Kilning the barley over woodland botanicals, including juniper berries, birch bark, heather, and peat. The process lends a distinctively earthy and nutty nose, with smoke that evokes mesquite and peppery beef sticks, and then balances the fruity palate with savory elements of jalapeno, spearmint, and eucalyptus. Yeah, I've never seen that word used as a verb.
So it doesn't surprise me to hear that they used peat, but the peat does not take it over. American barbecue smoke. It like smells like you said, beef
mesquite,
stick. It smells like when you do a brisket, Sam. That's what it smells like. It has that kind of smell to it.
Yeah. Is that a dig or good?
No.
Okay.
Good. It smells like American barbecue,
No, I didn't know if it was like, my briskets are fucked up.
No, your briskets are good. Yeah, I'm trying to give you approval here. You know, the thing you've been waiting for your entire life.
Yeah. Thanks, Dad.
Yeah, look, just don't get too emotional. I've already got one woman in my life crying. I don't need you crying too.
I was saying, you know what the worst part about it was, especially with that intro, with the how many girls do I going to is you skipped that stage of life and went straight to dementia. So
yeah, well,
no, you've got that to look forward to.
I'm getting up there. The juniper, it's the juniper and the bark. That really
definitely the bark is
shines.
It's almost like a birchwood. Is that? It almost has like a birch beer smell to it.
Yeah, it is fucking delightful. And Glenmoe typically will have has had multiple things hit the list. There was that essentially the single grain of American oak that they did from a few years ago, the blue bottle.
Yes.
I know Cole bought that bottle like 3 times. She liked it that
delicious.
much.
That bottle. That was the single estate 15-year-old, I think, that we that was on the list. It was fucking phenomenal, that bottle of whiskey.
I see another one of those in the wild. I'm buying it because
it's very good.
That bottle is fucking exceptional.
I also would like to smoke with this bottle.
Yeah. Now I'm not sure I'm going to want to drink this bottle.
That kiss of peat makes me want a cigar more and more with it.
Yeah, I'm not so sure it would be like a whiskey I would want to drink all the time because my go-to isn't to grab a bottle of scotch typically, you know. But it's real fuck good.
It's very good.
It's really, really good.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I really like this a lot.
Because we've had, there was the blue label that was the American White Oak. essentially single vineyard.
It was single.
Like
That
a
was
single farm of barley.
I think it was single estate 15 year. Was that year? Yeah, and it was like number 7 on the list or something.
Yeah, and then
This one comes in at number 8. It's
the-
just as good.
Quinto Noval, the port finished one,
Yep.
got on the list one year. They do a Sauterne. They don't say it's Chateau Joachim, but Moet Hennessy owns Chateau Joachim.
Okay.
Moet Hennessy owns Glenmorangie. It's pretty safe to
Better
assume.
known by a street name, the Phoenix.
Yeah, exactly.
Or no good.
No, this is bloody exceptional. If you are a Scotch drinker and you see this bottle in the wild, it is a perfect $100 bottle.
It's interesting. It's different, but
Yeah.
it does tick all the traditional boxes. I mean, for once, I think the blurb was actually 100% spot on. I'm one that typically kind of strays from the blurb.
Yeah.
And Whiskey Advocate usually. This I thought he nailed that description to a T.
Water does give, as it's watered down a little, it does give a little bit of sharpness on the tongue that wasn't there with it neat, but either way, this is bloody fucking fantastic.
Yeah, it's
man.
delicious.
All right. What else do we always got to do, Mr. Graham?
Always remember to drink responsibly.
I love it. I love it. Let's get into the action, Mr. Graham. Cheers.
Cheers, sir. That might be the best clink we've ever had with this mug.
Yeah, 1/2 bad. There we go. There's,
The dainty little.
there's only one place to begin. The Manchester Derby. Manchester City 3, Manchester
The
United
Clouds of
1.
Manchester 1.
Hey, you know what? I mean, until we got to the end of the match and City eventually kind of ran away with it, it was cagey and ugly, and it was bookended, honestly, when it was 1-1 by 2 fucking wonder goals. Like, just 2 gorgeous fucking goals. As much as I sit here and rail about what fucking frauds United are, that was a gorgeous fucking strike from Rashford.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
Jesus.
there's nothing you can do to stop that. It's just perfect. And literally, if he was an inch further out, half an inch further out, that smacks off the face of the crossbar.
Right.
Everything about that was perfect. He kept his body over it, but got so much backlift, hit it so hard that there was still rise in the ball, you know?
Yep. So that if the keeper, Ederson was never going to get a
He
hand
was just
to
never
it.
going to get to it.
Just never.
He was
wasn't
never
gonna
going to
happen.
get to it. And the shame for United is, City dominated every facet of this game from start to fucking finish, except that.
Yeah.
United had a total of 3 shots, and only one of which was on target, and it happened to be this one.
And the other thing United,
City never looked in any real concern. And now United, though, played like West Ham.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? They defended very low. They tried to make it ugly. And maybe it's just the bias of having watched United dominate for so long, through the late 90s and early 2000s when those great bouts between Sir Alex and Arsene Wenger, and then Jose Mourinho gets thrown in the mix, and blah, 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 blah.
Right.
That I'm just not used to seeing United play like fucking West Ham or play like,
here's what this was the vibes I got from it. Until there was the second goal, when it was 1-1, the vibes I got from United was Ten Hag watched exactly what Villa did at Villa Park against City, and they replicated it perfectly. And it almost worked.
Yeah.
It really did almost work.
I do enjoy very much the stat that Manchester City, I think, had 27 shots overall. Mm-hmm. Manchester United only had 23% possession. Those numbers don't
Right.
cross over very often.
The math doesn't math very well there.
Yeah, and that was one of the best digs that I saw was Manchester City had more shots than United had possession. I thought that was brilliant.
Well, and then once the second goal happened from Foden, it was.
I think Onana could have done better there, by the way.
I don't disagree.
I think he was very late reacting to that, and he shouldn't have been. I don't think it was a particularly good strike. I don't think Foden obviously didn't catch it cleanly. It was bouncing. Onana should have got that ball, in my opinion.
But the minute he got that second goal, it was like you knew there was nothing that United could do that was going to make that game 2-2.
I'll tell you what it wasn't. The one thing that I know for a fact that wasn't going to make it 2-2 was subbing off Rashford and putting Anthony on.
Yeah.
What the fuck is that little twirly bird going to do?
I don't know. I don't know.
Absurd move by Ten Hag, in my opinion. I don't care if he's tired, like how tired he is. You fucking leave Rashford on the field unless his leg's broken.
So this one,
That's stupid.
again, I understand that I am an Everton supporter and my team is dog shit and a mess right now, but I would like to say the following to any United supporter watching. I'm looking you right now on the camera, or you listening over the podcast platforms. You all are a bunch of frauds. Stop fucking thinking for a second. Stop fucking thinking for a second you're going to Champions League. You fucking aren't.
No.
You fucking aren't. Stop it.
Ray, he might be talking to you directly right now. 'Cause I know you're there, and I know you're watching.
So just, but that's the thing. Like everybody, well, even the pundits, because United being good is the story, right? You've talked about this all the time. As much as you hate United, you want United to be good.
You need him to be good.
They need to be good.
It helps the strength of the league.
And they had that little run in the early fall that everybody thought, wow, they haven't lost in like 8 straight. Yeah, they're beating fucking Sheffield 2-1.
Yeah,
on
but
a
they were
fucking, like-
shit. Exactly
Right.
that. Like their
And then-
performances were garbage. We said this at the time, and everybody says we don't know what we're talking about.
And
we
then-
said this at the time. Their performances were dog shit.
And then they did it again in late December through January, where they were doing the same thing, and it was like,
They're
don't
like
be
6 or
impressed.
7 without losing.
Do not be impressed. Don't be impressed. And then
Correct.
they lost that game to Fulham, and then they went into this one. You could tell they were barely hoping they could get away with a point. That's what they were praying for.
It was absurd.
Yes, Mel.
Ray says, never said we were going to. And agrees Anthony coming on was fucking dumb.
I mean, that's when you knew he threw the towel in.
Yeah.
That's when you knew he threw the towel in. It was over at that point.
Yeah. You also have to wonder, like, who's getting sold. Like,
Think of, and here's the problem. We've said for years there's been a problem in the front office. That's been known, right? So think of, like, look at what Alanga's doing, what he did, and what he's doing at Forest now, right? He's dangerous. He provides opportunities for others. He's taken a few chances himself. He's done this. And then look what 100 million euros got you in Anthony.
yeah.
And see who's on the better side of that ledger. Forest or United.
Right.
Now, arguably, not arguably, it's true. Pound for pound, United are a better team and in a better position.
Of course.
But I'm talking about what you sold and what you replaced him with in the exact same position.
Right.
And it's a massive downgrade.
Yeah, it
And
absolutely.
Alanga also doesn't beat his girlfriend, and Anthony does. So not only does he not perform, he's also a bit of a cunt.
Yeah. The one thing they have going for them that I will say is you do have Hoyland is looking good and Garnacho's looking good and Manio, is it the kid playing midfield? Manu. So there's some good young bones, and was Alanga a straight out sale or a loan? I think
I thought he was. Excuse me.
Yeah.
I thought he was permanent.
Okay, I wasn't sure about that. And Sancho is a loan, right?
Yeah, because they couldn't get anybody to buy him because
Right.
he also beats his girlfriend.
So you wonder, though, with Sancho, if it's not Ten Hag, does Sancho come back into the fold and, offer something to the team? But there's at least some younger pieces. But then you look right up the spine of the team, and it's like, who's going to help hold them over? Like McTominay? Like that really it? Like, because you can't imagine Varane's going to be there much longer. Martinez.
I mean, Varane's also quite old as well,
Yeah.
isn't he? Isn't
Right.
he like 32, 33 already?
And
I mean, he's no Thiago Silva, don't get me wrong, but
and Johnny Evans is old, and Harry Maguire breathes air through his mouth, not through his
and
nose.
points at things.
You start to wonder, like, what are going to be the pieces to this team?
What are going to be the pieces? Why'd you go all Italian?
Because
What are going to be the pieces?
well, you're the one that reads all this shit into it, man. Just settle
this
down.
is funny.
So what will be those, like, there are some pieces, but there's not a lot of pieces. We've seen already by what happened in January, every team is afraid of the FFP rules
Now,
because they see people are getting busted
Well,
for
so
it.
now I don't think United really is worried about FFP because their merchandise sales are still second to absolutely nobody, and only rivaled by Real Madrid, really.
Right.
And of course they own Old Trafford outright.
Right.
Which is a huge asset and complete profit every match day.
Right.
And probably, rivals, name any tourist attraction in England.
True.
Old Trafford rivals it, right? As
agreed.
I'm sure it's top 5 visited venues in England. Period.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if I had the opportunity to go see Everton play at Old Trafford, I would absolutely.
I'd love to go to a game at Old Trafford because it's a storied old stadium. Yeah, I want to see the Stretford end where Beckham scored that goal against Greece to send England to the World Cup on the final match day of qualifiers. Like, it's a storied old stadium. I want to go to Anfield.
Right.
I've told you this. Like, I'd love to see these grounds. It's a shame I didn't get to take a shit and miss the toilet at White Hart Lane. Wanted to do that, but I'll just have to settle for the new place.
Heard.
But so I don't think they are worried about FFP. I think everything surrounding the Jim Ratcliffe situation is what stopped United from investing in January.
Fair. Okay. Gotcha.
But that's a very specific thing. I think everybody else is fucking worried. Yeah, absolutely. But because United are the commercial behemoth that they are, I don't think that they're necessarily concerned because there's never been questions about what they're doing.
So
you know what I mean? Never once have they been brought up on charges for any of it.
That's true.
But they spend hundreds of millions of pounds every transfer window.
Right.
And it's because they're just such a commercial behemoth.
Yeah, they just have a blank check. They just print money. It's easy for them.
100%.
Now, City shows resiliency. They get through the big match. Now it's on to Anfield and Liverpool next week.
It's all going to depend on for that. Here's a injury time preview. Patreon.com/DFootball show. Actually, to find out the full thoughts and concerns about us. It's all about the injuries, man.
Yeah.
It really is. Who's fit? I would argue. I bet you some of those players are fit, and he's just not putting them on the bench because he saw a manageable bit of the schedule that he could give them rest following their injuries. So he just says, "Oh, they're still injured."
Got it. Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And they've just been resting, and now they're going to come out of the block swinging on Saturday or Sunday, rather.
Well, unless, of course.
Felt it was windy like crazy. People love when I talk about the wind, but it was windy, and it's not good for football. And so we had really to work hard.
We now turn our attention to the bottom of the table, as none of the sides fighting to survive improved their place at all. Liverpool 1, Forest 0, West Ham 3, Everton 1, Aston Villa 3, Luton 2. Forest had chances in this match. They had some, it was a lot of Liverpool controlling, but there was multiple times where clear-cut, good scoring opportunities happened for Forest that they could have gone up 1-0 at any time and changed the course of the game.
Kelleher made a good save. Sells made a good save. And then nothing else happened for the remainder of the 90 minutes in the allotted 8 minutes.
Yeah.
And then super imaginary special time happened. And Nunez gets a goal in the 99th minute.
I would like
because that's what they're doing with Liverpool. Imagine. So my actual joke was an imaginary Narnia stoppage time.
Right.
They definitely grabbed that minute from the back of the closet. But there was a issue with a couple of instances implemented by Paul Tierney. I kind of missed it. I heard somebody else, another pundit, talking about this today on the radio, but there was some sort of situation where the referee blew up and the ball called back, and essentially an uncontested drop ball given to the opposing team. And it happened once for Forest, happened once for Liverpool. The one for Forest, though, was happening on the break and very well could have scored. But they are there was only 4 shots on target in the entire match, 2 for each team.
Yeah.
It was dreadful.
Now
But that's what happens when a mediocre at best football team plays very good children.
Yeah. Here was the one thing I was going to bring up that I found very interesting is that remember famously said by Jurgen Klopp, you never played the game, you shouldn't ref the game, you don't know anything. I didn't seem giving Paul Tierney a hard time about this match, did you?
No,
not at all.
Not. Also, Captain Chaos obviously got the header, old Darwin Nunez. I, for one, despite how well we dealt with Liverpool when we played them, I personally am one that is intimidated because after that goal, he does the knee slide, fine, but gets up and then absolutely boots the fuck out of the advertising hoarding with his foot.
Yeah.
You are a footballer. That is a very hard object, right?
A lot of our team is hurt. We don't need you hurt too.
Yeah. But he just... Honey Badger don't give a fuck. You know what I'm
shit.
saying? He just does not care. That is very intimidating. I can't remember specifically who it was, but for some reason, there's a story throughout history that sticks in my mind. Is the two armies line up on the field of battle. This is in the very, very olden days. And one of the generals turns to his second in command and slits his throat and then just stares back at the other army. Mm-hmm. It's like, I'm just showing you that I don't fucking care. You know what I'm saying? It's like standing up in front of a room being berated and then just wetting yourself and looking at somebody and then smiling and tilting your head. You know what I'm saying? It's like, fucking this dude's off his rocker.
This dude's insane.
Liverpool have 14 fucking injuries from their first kind of 20 players, right? And Darwin Nunez goes and boots the fuck out of the advertising hoarding in time that doesn't matter. As soon as Forrest kicked the ball off, that whistle's going, and he knows that. Fuck, full bore right into the advertising. Fuck, this dude doesn't care.
Captain Chaos don't give a fuck.
He has nothing to lose. Honey Badger don't give a fuck.
Exactly. Yeah, he's got the ponytail and everything. I'd say
That's the scary bit. I know. That's the scary bit. I bet you he's impervious to venom and STDs.
Yeah, probably is.
He's a fairly attractive Latin man.
Yeah,
Come on.
Uruguayan man, there's a little crazy going on, and I mean, whew.
I just hope he doesn't start biting people like the other lad.
Just reference all of their time in the World
Yeah.
Cup. Every match, something fucking insane happens. You're just like, Jesus.
Well,
Christ.
most of them were the same bloke, though, to be fair.
True, very true. Of course, the one thing that what ultimately mattered for Liverpool is Liverpool found a way to ensure that they would still be at the top of the table, because if there was that draw, they'd suddenly be in third place right now.
Yeah, definitely.
So you find a way. That's the biggest thing.
Yep.
And now it comes down to obviously Liverpool and City.
Well, it also, I said all those jokes. It's not Liverpool's fault that Paul Tierney didn't blow the fucking whistle.
No, it's not.
It's their fault. It's his fault. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So you can only play what's in front of you, and you can only play under the rules that you're being governed by.
Right.
And they did that. They played till the final whistle, and they got the win. And the mark of, we've said this how many times, the mark of a good team, or a championship team especially, is winning in all sorts of ways. If it's ugly, if it's dominant, if it's whatever, you find a way to get over the line in one way or another. And sometimes it's easier than not. And in this game was difficult, and they found a way to still do it. And that is scary for everybody else.
Yeah.
Because they're only going to improve as people come back healthy.
Right. People are going to come back healthy. They're only going to get better.
Right.
Now, it's funny. West Ham has been struggling until obviously the big win over Brentford last week with the 4-2. This was about as Moisey West Ham as I've ever seen it get. Areola stands on his head, makes 9 fucking saves, including a penalty, which, by the way, wasn't that bad of a penalty. It was a fairly decent penalty from Beto.
Yeah, I mean, it had good direction, but it did not have the pace on it that it needed.
Right.
He also kind of telegraphed it a little bit, which is, I think, where Areola got to it. But this first
Areola
half
made
for
another
me,
4 great saves.
yeah, but this first half for me was fucking dreadful.
Oh, my God, yes.
And it was only made worse by that Beto penalty decision. Actually, the highlight for the first half for me was finding out that Lucas Paqueta that just wears regular ass Calvin Klein underwear while he plays.
Yeah.
It's not like fancy sliders with tape all over. He just had some regular ass Calvin Kleins on.
Real old Jaws.
That's what I'm wearing right now.
Very good.
You know what I'm saying? That's very interesting.
The one thing that is
That's how ugly the first half was in this
the
fucking
conspiracy theorist in me, because, you know, the league hates Everton, as I've often mentioned. That is the first penalty Everton was awarded this season. And they had to really go look at that at VAR. Like, The man's hand is completely away from his body. I swear to you, I want to say Stockley Road told him to go over and take a look at it, and the entire time they're going back and forth going, we got to figure out a way to say this isn't a handball, right? Like, how we can figure this one out? We got to, it's like, dude, his arm's completely away from his body. We can't do it, mate. Come on, we got to figure out a way to say it's not a handball.
I also want to say about that penalty real quick, too, before we move on from that, because I think just as an adult male, you should be striking the ball a lot firmer than that. That 90-year-old blind force supporter that we shared the video of the other day on the socials, she probably could have gotten over to save that penalty. That's how slow it was hit.
Right. I don't think it was a terrible penalty. I honestly do not think it was a terrible penalty.
That's fast.
Now,
Jesus Christ.
taking that away, brilliant.
That's fast. That's very fast.
But
Good work.
the thing that again is worth mentioning is Areola made, of the 9 saves, not including the penalty, he made another 4 great. There was one he took off of inside the 6 off of fucking Dwight McNeil's shot inside the 6.
That didn't count as a shot
And
because he
And he held it too, which was even more impressive.
Yep.
All that happens, Everton still find a way to take the lead.
Yeah.
They still finally take
Beto
the
did
lead.
make good finally. And that was a lovely finish.
And then it was 2 bad set pieces, which is funny because prior to the game against Brighton, Everton hadn't conceded a single goal on a corner, and they've now conceded 3 on corners. Couple that with the last goal at the end was just comedic because bad corner that Garner mishandles, that then boom, next thing you know, they're down the field, and Alvarez, of all people, the defensive midfielder who sometimes slots in at center back, is the one who ends up putting the ball away. So it was 3-1. Everton were the better side. They just got West Hammed. They got moist. That's exactly what happened. They got moist.
Everton had one glaring absence at Goodison Park.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope he's okay. But the Goodison cat wasn't there to provide the luck, and I think it's obviously because Kurt Zuma was in the building.
And had to hide. That's a good assessment. Good assessment. So, Mr. Graham, allow me to now take my shot of Malort. For those of you who do not know, every single time our team loses, we do shots of Malort. We have
regularly voted the worst alcohol in the world, tasting.
We have a bevy of Malort.
Types of Malort,
We
yes.
have the original, we have the barrel-aged, and then because I hate myself and felt like spending $150, which I did find out, it all actually went to charity. 100%
Oh, good.
of the
Awesome.
I have the pumpkin spice. So I poured myself the original. I have become so familiar with fucking Jepson's Malort, Mr. Graham. I have the fucking book on it, Mr. Graham. I have please, for all of our listeners, please tell everybody what we got there.
So we got by Kevin D. Ryan. We have the Jepson's Malort, the book.
You should probably open up the front there
Discover
and
the
read.
history, tradition, and 2-fisted drinkers behind Chicago's iconic drink of choice.
Why don't you read our inscription there at the beginning?
DUFS, DU Football, Drunken United Football Show. That's us. Remember, there is always something worse than losing. Malort. Cheers.
Fuck off.
And then a signature, which I can't read. I assume it's Kevin Ryan.
Yeah, it's Matt Kevin.
Okay.
I've had too much of this in this season. I've had too much of this for the last 3 seasons.
Yeah.
Fuck this world. Yep. Fuck you. But Shore Billy, just for you, it's out of a Newcastle glass. So
That was started during the Steve Bruce years.
yeah, well, the Mike Ashley years, or as like we like to call
This is like a history of Malort. This is awesome.
History of Malort and all the good stuff.
I do like that it was founded in 1945. It doesn't say the date it was founded, but it does say that it was founded in 1945. This guy owned Malort from 1945 to 1999. Obviously, World War II was just wrapping up, and he was like, you know what the world needs? A reminder of how shit things can be. Let's make Malort. Oh, fucking great.
Oh, there we have it.
That's fucking great.
Speaking of someone who hasn't had to do any Malort, but was getting nervous there for a little bit, Aston Villa. Again, Ollie Watkins comes out quick with a brace.
Dude, early pressure again from Villa, and it just the inevitable is an Ollie Watkins goal. It was fucking decent as well. Kaminsky did play well, I thought. He made good saves on Ramsey and Ollie Watkins to begin the game, really. But the perfectly timed run by Ollie Watkins, it finished calm in a far corner for that second goal. It's delicious. He's there. Ivan Toney's going to have trouble getting into the England squad now because Ollie Watkins is going to be Harry Kane's backup.
Yeah, that is the case.
Period.
Yeah,
That's how it's
absolutely the
gonna
case.
go.
Ivan Toney's not getting past Watkins.
No, not at this point.
No.
There was a stage at the beginning
He
of the
can't
season
always move the ball behind the refs in the face.
before he got banned. There was a stage where I thought very much so Ivan Toney would be the number 2.
Yep.
Because Callum Wilson couldn't stay fit. Dominic Calvert-Lewin's been playing like shit. And Ollie Watkins was doing well, but Ivan Toney does more for the team. Drop deep, passing, that kind of stuff.
Hey guys, I think Christian might be having a stroke. He says, I like Malort in the chat. I'm very worried about our favorite heart patient.
Wouldn't it be a son of a bitch if Malort saves his life?
That's what's keeping him alive through all these miracle surgeries.
If he goes to like the clinic and they're like, bro, you're healed. And he's like, what have you been doing differently? Well, I recently discovered Malort. What?
Yeah. Malort, the cure-all.
It was.
I mean, it definitely kills COVID.
I met up with Villanisa Cole and Joe and Joe's son to watch the match, and it became apparent after Luton scored the first time that we were in the minority in that bar of people cheering for Aston Villa. Everybody else was cheering for Luton openly and loudly.
Yeah, everyone. Which is like, come on, Luton. Come on, you Hatters. Everybody was in on Luton. And then, of course, they level it up, and everybody's going crazy. And would it surprise you to hear
I
that...
took my sweatshirt off, and I'm like, oh, I gotta get serious now.
Would it surprise you to hear that...
And then you started crying.
Luton was scoring their goals off set pieces. Would that surprise you?
Cheering for my team.
I was going to say, would it surprise you to hear that Luton was scoring all their goals off set pieces? No.
Not at all. So they had that little blip, right? Of Luton, just before halftime, had a decent little stretch of play, like 3-4 minutes right before halftime. Obviously gave them the platform to come out swinging in the second half.
Right.
And they did. Villa were kind of shell-shocked at the beginning of that second half. So, oh, fuck, I wasn't ready for them to. I thought they were just going to lay over and die now.
We figured this was a scrimmage.
Yeah.
You guys are competing?
2-0 up wasn't a problem.
You want it to be a scrimmage, it needs to be 5-0 at halftime. Mr. Graham will tell you how that works.
Yeah, we'll teach you how to make a scrimmage out of a real game.
I mean, do that with Liverpool.
I mean, we beat them too.
7-0.
I mean, that's years ago. And you had to.
Can't take it away from her.
That's all I got.
You had $100 million less in your pockets because you had one Jackie Grealish. Don't forget.
Can't take that. Can't take it
I'm
away
not
from
trying
her.
to take it away. I'm just saying circumstances were different. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, was that Unai Emery?
No,
Steven Gerrard?
I don't remember.
Yeah, it was Stevie G.
Yeah.
Wow. He's in Saudi Arabia now.
Yeah.
Begging for his life.
Somebody.
Well, kind of. His team sucks, apparently.
So, you know how there's always kind of like the trolling posts, like different sports groups will put up like their post, and they put up the post to kind of troll people. They show a picture of Stevie G like as a kid. And it was like the last time he's in a Liverpool kit and everything, and like shining his shoes, and says the last time Everton won a title, Stevie G was in the youth system. Since then, he's done blah, 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 like the whole thing, where he's managed, played for England, the whole nine. First comment, I loved it. One of my brethren. An Everton player is going to win a Premier League title before he does. Like, dang!
Yeah. So, and there's a couple other things. How wild was that goal mouth scramble?
Oh my God.
For Chong's goal.
Mm-hmm.
The only reason, as I was watching the highlights, the only reason I knew where the ball was is because of Chong's hair.
Just
which
whip it
way
back
he
and
was
forth.
looking. Yeah. It's the only, what is the matter? What's happening?
Dude,
and I just focused in on his hair.
He
And
was a problem. In
Yeah,
fact,
he
a lot
is.
of the
He's
Luton
very
people were a
energetic.
problem.
Very energetic player.
The ref was not calling anything for the first, half of the game, and it's fine. It happens. But then Douglas Luiz barely touches the guy, and suddenly yellow card. And it's like, oh, what are we doing?
What are we doing?
What are we doing? And then when the other guy started chanting Luton, Luton, then Cole, Miss Cole got fired up. So when we scored the third goal, she was screaming loud, and we definitely did a chest bump at the end of the game and did a victory lap around, waving our kits in the air as we danced around in our bras.
2 women doing a chest bump.
I believe you. I
Most of
believe
that
you
happened.
said.
It's kind of hot, to be honest with you.
I believe you said we got to make our titties bump or some shit like that, loudly for everybody. We got to make our titties bump, and they boop.
And then everybody went, fuck Luton.
Not denying that.
Of course, Luca
nice.
Digne gets the game
I'm
winner.
so happy to see Luca back.
So now here's the thing. It was a lovely finish, by the way.
I think
Great
goes off
header.
with a broken nose.
It was already kind of janky to begin with, to be honest with you. What I would say now, and you've had some very harsh words for Rafa Benitez in the past, Sam. Mm-hmm. Believe Rafa was the manager when you sold Luca Digne. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure you've seen all of the various posts shared about how Arsene Wenger's playing 4D chess, kind of helping Granit Xhaka make the decision to move to Leverkusen, which ultimately is about to stop Harry Kane from winning a title. Arsene Wenger does it again, Le Prof. So
I know where you're going, but no.
Rafa Benitez, 4D chess, sells Luca Digne, your best player arguably at the time, to Aston Villa to beat Luton, to keep you out of the relegation zone and keep them in it. That is amazing. 3 years down the line.
Yeah, but it would have been Forest in
2
the
years down the
relegation
line.
zone, not us.
Well, now that you've gotten points
Yeah,
back,
the-
but
the
that whole cheating thing kind of
And just knew Luca would come back for that match.
yeah.
So
Wow. I mean,
here-
what foresight? You said he was a shit manager. I think he's excellent.
Here's my final question for you, and then we'll finish up the segment. Is the Hatters have lost a few in a row now, and at some point having a gutsy loss doesn't equal points.
Not even, yeah. That part is starting to wear thin.
And
Still got our 3.
Everton gets points back, jump further ahead of them, now sit 5 points
probably
ahead of
lose next
them
week.
in the drop, and you lose another one at the death to one of the big teams
At home as well,
At
again.
home, how much more of this do you think Luton can take?
It's going to depend how bad Forest are for the remainder of the season, isn't it? Mm-hmm. I think Luton have the best platform to do something, but they are not very good.
And
They're spirited. They're giving their all. But it's a tough old league, man.
And I know Everton has not won in 2024, but they've also only lost twice.
Yep.
So they're at least getting points.
Yeah.
Luton's not. And that's where you have to start to wonder. It's like, how much longer can they continue to kind of take?
But how bad everyone else has been. What I'm saying is that they're still leaving themselves an opportunity, even though they're not getting wins.
Yeah.
Is
Well,
the thing.
well, next
and I
up
think
is-
they're playing the best out of those teams down there. I think they're performing the best and have the best opportunity to get points. They just need to turn those performances and get them over the line into wins.
Yeah, but if it keeps happening, I mean, will the points come? I'm not sure
Don't know.
they will.
Yeah, I absolutely don't know.
I was talking with a Palace supporter, and that's who they play next is at Palace, and it almost feels like both of us kind of agreed. It was like it almost feels like it's too much for them. Like it's almost too much. Rounding out the rest of the league, and so that happened. Brentford 2, Chelsea 2, Fulham 3, Brighton 0, Newcastle 3, Wolverhampton 0, Tottenham 3, Palace 1, Bournemouth 2, Burnley 0, Arsenal 6, Sheffield United 0. This was a hard match to figure out either side. Nicholas Jackson scored.
But he also
Everton
wasted a shit ton of opportunities.
Everton got a penalty, and the third sign of the apocalypse we'll talk about here in a few games. Chelsea goes up, seems to be in control of the game. Then, boom, next thing you know, Brentford's up. Brentford feels like they're going to probably hold on to it, give it away. Like, it just... Both, you know what? It feels like exactly what it was. It felt like an 11th place team playing a 13th place team.
Oh, yeah, big
It's
time.
exactly what that match felt like.
I mean, Chelsea wasted an opportunity to kill the game off when they were 1-0 up, and it fell to their best player, Cole Palmer, and it was a terrible strike. His body shape was all wrong. It was a good 3-4 yards wide of the goal, and it was pretty straight on, at least to test the goalkeeper, and he just wasn't attuned to it. Just wasn't great. Nicholas Jackson had a couple of chances to put himself in a position, but somehow healed the ball doing a step over.
Yeah.
Like, he's dog shit.
We need to remember, it's more likely that Nicholas Jackson will fuck up scoring
Than score.
score.
He is fit
And again,
somehow.
we will mention that about another player in a few matches.
He has somehow failed upwards
Yeah. It
into a position starting for Chelsea Football Club. And I'm not sure how it's happened because I do not rate him at all as a footballer. I think his temperament is garbage, and he doesn't really provide a lot of anything, really. In my view, I think Raheem Sterling would be a better choice to lead the line.
And
I think Nkuku would be a better choice to lead the line, but they won't start him. He's still sitting on the bench. Or Madueke or somebody other than Nicholas Jackson. Nico Jackson's not doing a goddamn thing for me.
and they're going to have to make changes at the end of the season because unless they figure out a way to win the FA Cup, they ain't going to Europe, which means less money in the coffers, which means
more questions about
FFP. And yeah, they deferred a lot of that money over the course of 8 years on a lot of these players, but they're gonna have to start turning some profit in here soon. And it can't just be they sold Mount last year, they're gonna sell Gallagher this off season. Like, it's gonna have to be more than that because they only got so many homegrown players they can sell, man. Like,
that are pure profit. You're absolutely right.
Right.
And the other ones aren't providing the performances to warrant a decent fee.
exactly.
If they wanted to sell them, it's ridiculous. But Wisa,
Yep.
what a fucking goal!
Back 2 goals.
Fantastic overhead kick. Obviously, it was absolutely brilliant.
Gorgeous.
But Chelsea were on top. Petrovic was untested. They were in control of the game. And then Brentford smash and grab, bang, bang, 2 relatively quick goals. And then Chelsea found their chances to be very few and far between. They just retreat within to themselves.
yeah.
It's almost, honestly, it's almost like they're a kid being abused. They're children, right? Dad gets mad, and then you know go in your room and turn on My Chemical Romance and don't come out until you're old enough to dye your hair jet black. It's like, what the fuck are you guys doing, man?
Right.
Like, stand up for yourself, dude. Like, take control of a game and do something. And it was just one moment of quality that finally got Diassi in for the equalizer. Good header, but you know, from Brentford's perspective, should have never allowed that chance to happen in the first place.
Right, precisely. Fulham do exactly what we've been saying about Brighton this year. Punch them in the face early, and you've got a good chance of beating this team.
Yeah, the highlighter pink jerseys, all they did was highlight the inconsistency of the young team under De Zerbi, really, because they couldn't really get anything going, it felt like. I mean, Fulham were hurrying them. They were forcing them out of their style of play, and Fulham were absolutely brilliant. But there could have been a lot of goals in this game, and there just weren't. Leno stood on his head a bit, made a couple of very good saves. And then Jason Steele made a few extra saves besides the 3 goals, obviously, he let in. It really could have been like 5-4.
Oh,
this
gosh,
game,
yes.
you know?
Gosh, yes, it could have been. Yeah,
And Harry Wilson could have had 6 of those 5 goals. Him and Muniz were like holding hands out there. It was brilliant.
It really
It's
was.
just they clicked phenomenally in this game.
For Fulham, you figured it out the right time. You got the right couple of wins. That's probably going to see you over the finish line.
Yeah, I think so too.
You're up for another year, you know, and then now it's figure out what the piece is going to be because you're not keeping Paulinho, right? So what's going to be that piece? And they're starting to figure it out without him, so that's a good thing. So, but that's really kind of what they're going to be looking at moving forward. Is
definitely.
exactly that.
100%.
Great win. Great answer, actually, from Newcastle after the way that they lost to you guys. Now both Wang and Cunha are out for Wolves, and like Sariba's been scoring and Necha's been scoring, but it's starting to finally look like
the goals might dry up a bit.
The goals might dry up a bit, but also, again, this team's going to be in and around it, man, hunting for that like 7th place spot. They play good defense. O'Neill has them pretty well tuned in. It was just, I think Newcastle needed this one more.
Yeah, they did. But it also, the first goal was the first 2 goals really, like how lucky can you get, right? That deflected shot that was doing nothing, just Isak with a wonderful reaction. But Jose Sa was left out to dry by the deflection. And Isak was just able to head in. Right. You know, I mean, it fell to him wide open at the edge of the 6.
Right.
There's not a whole lot you can do about that, but just dumb fucking luck. And then a 3-way borderline orgy of defensive mistakes. Not stepping to the initial ball, then getting rolled in the manner they did, sliding and missing. And then the goalkeeper, I thought, could have done a lot better as well for Gordon's goal. So 3 or 4 players fucking up right in a row for Wolves there, which gave Gordon his chance. He should have never had the chance to begin with. It seemed to me a very relatively easy defensive situation to deal with, and they just didn't deal with it.
Yeah, great.
And then he's very good, and he's come for a lot of praise since he's coming to the team, Livramento. I don't think that was on purpose. I actually wrote the sentence, then accidental fast feet. 'Cause I don't think he meant that, but it rolled into the back of the net, so well done to him.
I have a feeling we have the show title. She looked right at you and went, grabbed the pen. It was like, yep, there's the show title.
I don't know. It's a good win for Newcastle, obviously, but it wasn't spectacular. But as you say, you know, for anybody in a goal scoring, goal facing kind of role in a team, I don't care if you hit it in with the head of your dick. Your ball got over the line. You can take confidence from that, right? Yep. You just need to get the ball in the back of the net, and they did that in some way, shape, or form, and they will take confidence from that as a team.
Agreed.
And hopefully use this as a platform to make the Piff Posse more money.
Amazing. Eze's back. Guess what Eze does?
The best goal of the weekend.
Yeah.
What a fucking strike that was.
Wow.
Phenomenal strike. It was absolutely brilliant free kick. Phil Foden was up there too. The first one.
Yeah. The Rashford one was pretty fucking brilliant.
one was good.
And the Wisa
But that was just like a fucking pile driver though.
And the Wisa goal. There was some great goals.
Yeah,
this
there
weekend.
were some pretty good goals.
Yeah,
Arsenal as
really
a team
great
goal
goals.
was good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I was just remembering all 6.
We'll get to it in just a second. Here's the third leg of the apocalypse: is Timo Werner scored a goal.
I know.
So Jackson scores a goal, Werner scores a goal, and Everton gets a penalty. The world's coming to an end.
So I don't often purposely put egg on my face, right? But I did say Tottenham started very sloppy and gifted Palace a fair few chances. Luckily for them, Palace didn't take them. I said, unlucky for Tottenham, though, the only chance they had in the first half fell to Werner. And the safest space when that happens is between the sticks.
Yes.
I left that in there to purposely put egg on my own face, because obviously he did score a very meaty tap-in.
Yeah.
He didn't need to do all that, but I guess he wanted to prove a point.
I yelled aloud at the bar when Werner missed the fast break. I was just like, life, death, and Timo Werner cannot score a fucking goal. And Spurs supporters there were like, yep,
you're right.
Yep, not wrong. So not wrong.
It was fucking brilliant. The second half, Spurs looked a little bit better, obviously, but Eze just had that ridiculous-ass free kick. But that did wake Tottenham up, and they dominated from that point forward. Christian Romero, what was he doing in that position?
I don't know.
It was weird.
Yeah.
I thought he was going to drop kick the goalie in the chest, but he actually kept his composure and put a header in. Well done to him.
It's his MO.
Yeah, well done to him. And then Son put the cherry on top, obviously, 8 minutes later. Just to heap more sorrow on Palace, really. They had that respite of last weekend where they won, obviously, 3-0 or whatever, or 3-1, whatever it was. But that's it. I don't know. What I loved about the Son finish, though, to send the keeper the wrong way from a full sprint 17 yards out from goal.
Yeah.
The goalkeeper dove the wrong direction.
Yeah. I mean, you beat him that bad.
That actually is quite impressive. Far be it for me to actually praise a Tottenham player properly. Mm-hmm. That was fucking kind of dope, to be honest.
So something we were talking about the Cherries and how they have been slipping. Their next 5, all teams below them in the table.
Nice.
And they beat, of course, Burnley last week. And then, of course, this week they beat, wasn't Burnley, it was.
They played Burnley this weekend.
It was, they beat, who they beat last week? They won last week, too. Might have been Sheffield. I think it was Sheffield they beat.
Might have been. I don't remember.
But they beat them. They beat someone below them.
I'm like that Landon Donovan Foot Locker commercial.
Yeah.
What World Cup?
Yeah, what are you talking about?
I don't remember that.
Like a goldfish, baby. Like a goldfish.
I'm like Dory.
Now, the sad part is
keep swimming, just keep spewing, absolute dross.
at Turf Moor, Burnley's not able to score. We were talking about this last week, so I've come up with a new Brett conspiracy theory.
Okay.
To kind of keep things rolling.
Yeah.
I think that my new conspiracy theory is that Brett personally picks out companies' T-shirts to wear underneath
Nice
his suit. We got to say something about Burnley, so that's
okay.
That's my theory this week.
Can I say something annoying and slightly acceptably racist about Burnley? Mm-hmm. Scandinavia needs to come up with different ways to name their people because I picked the wrong Scandinavian person to have shots on target. I wanted Brood Larson, I picked Gudmundsson, and it all just sounds the fucking same. And I lost $5 because of it. Fuckers.
What a pain in the ass.
God damn it.
Doesn't that just suck?
Yeah. Neto with a brilliant save, by the way. That save from Brood Larson's free kick was fucking phenomenal.
Yeah, it
and
was.
literally a quarter of an inch away from being a goal. Mm-hmm. But yeah, Burnley's going down.
Yeah. So
Burnley's going down.
Each week from here on out, like I said, we got to think of something, just a conspiracy theory with Brett involving Burnley.
Okay.
Because, again, at least Sheffield fought each other last week. Yeah. I mean, Sheffield didn't do anything this week.
Let's see, I don't even think they did. You know how we always say during a blowout we expect to see cards? Like, at least show that you care. I don't even think they did that.
I know. I don't think they got any cards.
Let's see. There was...
Dude, it was 3-0 in 14 minutes.
There was one yellow in the 29th minute, and that was it.
I believe you said you had a...
it was already 4-0.
you said you had a very simple theory about this game?
Yeah.
That was easy.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right, let's move on to the betting. It's just utter and complete domination, really. So from start to finish, there's really no two ways about it. You saw the stat I said about United's possession versus City's shots. That was another good one for us. They only had 19.3% of the ball. We had 22 shots.
Jesus Christ.
By the way, normally when you talk about Arsenal, I put on the screen the pro Arsenal agenda. I just can't this time. That's just too mean.
It's not even worth it. Yeah.
Oh, I'm like, that's
there's literally nothing else to talk about.
That's like dunking on the short kid.
They had no shots on target.
I'll give you the one big thing that we can talk about here, Graham, is with those goals, you are now 6 goals to the positive against Liverpool, and you are 10 goals to the positive against City.
It's massive.
That is fucking massive.
Double Villas.
It's massive. It's huge. It really is
Huge. It's bigly.
It really is fucking
There's
brilliant.
never been a larger goal differential.
It really is
I don't know
fucking
why
brilliant.
It's doing Arnold.
Do you know that's 30 goals in 6 games since
What?
our warm weather training in Dubai?
That's crazy.
Isn't that intense?
Yeah.
Let's see. Manchester United, just so you know, have scored 37 goals all season. Mm-hmm. We've scored 30 in the last 6 games.
That was easy.
Sure money.
That'll definitely get fixed in post.
Actually, wasn't easy, was it?
No, I was trying to figure
I'm
it all
going to
out.
keep talking about it so it doesn't get fixed in post because it's really funny to have that dead air while you twiddle the buttons.
Well,
Brilliant. Okay. I'll just talk about my shit at the end. What did you do? I'm really fucking annoyed by mine.
What did I do, Graham? Only win my 4th in a row. I am now up $82, my good friend. I am back in the black.
Really? You're up $82?
Uh-huh.
All right, then.
Big Sam's Lock of the Week.
Did you know, Mr. Graham, 28.57142.9% of the time works 100% of the time, boys and girls. Keeping the bit going. It's fucking working. Parlay of favorites.
Oh, my God.
I'm
$82.
taking Arsenal over
Big
Brentford.
surprise. A parlay of favorites is working.
You know what? I'm in the black. You're not. Fuck off.
Parlay of favorites.
Arsenal over Brentford and West Ham over Burnley at plus 117.
Okay.
Just keep fucking working my way up.
Keep working your way downtown? Uptown?
Walking fast.
In your homebound.
I'm a big Sam. Go fuck yourself.
I should probably pull Pat's bet up, shouldn't I?
Oh, should I give you a second number two?
No, go ahead. As I
right.
got it. It's already here.
And now, it's time for our degenerate gambling friend Pat's Pick of the Week.
I miss talking to Pat.
And guess what he did? The opposite of what you did.
Yeah, he hit.
Yeah.
Streaking to the End is the title of his email, which makes me think he might be that Super Bowl streaker that put $15 on himself or whatever it was.
Or should change his underwear.
I get it. Well, driving back from another successful golf trip, and my season is starting to turn around. I'm only down $1,320 after another hit last weekend. This week, I'll try a 3-game parlay. United over Everton, Palace over Luton, and West Ham over Burnley. That pays out on $100 at $445. You guys have a great week, and I'm going to sleep for 2 straight days and be on the wagon for a month after this last week.
Well, that's normally what he does. He goes down there and drinks excessively and plays golf.
Yes, he does. So I am now down 1,347 points.
Big loser.
Or
Points.
points. Dollars, not points.
Get my way downtown, walking fast.
Seagulls, go fuck yourself. Because it's them. So that's my cup of losers. Do Seagulls, go fuck yourself. Because they were the only team that fucked me. Arsenal, I had over 3.5 goals in the game and to win the game, and they had that done by the fucking 20th minute.
Right. Yep.
Absolute cocksucking Seagulls. So this week, I have not learned my lesson. I've got Bournemouth.
9-way parlay.
Almost. I think it's 6. I've got Bournemouth to beat Sheffield, Palace or Luton double chance. Somebody's going to win that game. Mm-hmm. Excuse me. Wolves or a draw with Fulham on a double chance as well. Arsenal over Brentford, West Ham over Burnley, and City and Liverpool. This is the one that kicked me odds up. City and Liverpool to draw at plus 1722.
Not good gambling.
So I'll be way in the positive if this hits, and way in the title hunt.
How negative are you right now? You're at like 12?
1347.
Oh, so is Pat
So I'll be
better than
300.
you?
I'll be 380 to the good. We're very close. What I say? I think I'm $27 further down. Yeah, I'm $27 further down. But see, I'm round numbers down. I'm sorry. I'm very odd numbers down because I place good, strong, weird bets that end in 22s. He does favorite shit like you do and gets nice. Oh, I'm going to win 440.
I mean,
And I've actually hit more bets than he has.
you know who else is in the black? The fucking chicken.
Chicken's always in the black.
Well, Kitty hit with the Cherries a victory at Burnley. And so she sits at 15 and 11. So this week, I gave Kitty Everton traveling to Man United. Now, Kitty showed me a picture of her with Tim Howard, Phil Neville, and Marquand Fellaini.
Marion Fellaini.
That's exactly
Get
what I
Sideshow
said.
Bob name right.
That's exactly what I said, which is why it struck me very odd because all 3 players spent time with both Everton and Manchester United.
Go figure.
So I guess it looks like Kitty is picking a draw. Guy, this may be the closest Kitty has ever gotten to picking your team.
Yeah, it might be ever because she always picks my team to lose.
Yep.
Do you know what should never hang you up?
What?
Italian names and gambling legally and responsibly.
Except for he's Belgian. And I blocked it. Alrighty, that is going to wrap it up, boys and girls. Mr. Graham, any parting words?
Yeah, I got a couple things here real quick. So apparently this has been around for a long time. So there's I first came across the tune of this chant is an Arsenal chant. It goes, we've won the league at Anfield. It's the LA, LA, LA. A lot of clubs do LA, 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 but change the words up, obviously. And then it says, we won it at the Lane. Stamford Bridge, Old Trafford. No one can say the same. Mikel Arteta's army. We're Arsenal through and through. We'll sing it in the North Bank and in the clock and two. Ale, ale, ale. Right?
Yeah.
So what I heard, like I said, the video is 4 years old, so it's been around for a bit. But there's a big old fat dude in the stands at a lower league club. And it said, I've conquered all the chippies. I'm never gonna stop. Chips and peas and gravy. I've ate the fucking lot.
Yeah, you have.
Pepperoni pizza and chicken vindaloo. I'm a big fat bastard. And I love my fucking food.
Attaboy.
It was very fucking funny. I saw that, I almost fell off the toilet.
Hey, which
That's
is
where he consumes all of his video
social media.
diet.
Yeah.
Hey, Mel, a positive. Typically, that's where he cries, so at least he laughed this time on the toilet.
That's also where I respond to most of the Facebook chat. So imagine that while you're taking in my my hard-hitting analysis. And last thing, somebody put this up. I think it's accurate. So far in 2020, this got Shore Billy all riled up earlier, too. So far in 2024, Sheffield United have the 4th most goals at their home stadium. They've only scored 4, which is behind Brighton and Hove Albion in 3rd, Aston Villa in 2nd, and now Arsenal in 1st place, having scored more goals in 2024 than Sheffield United.
Has.
Obviously, Newcastle have had 8 there, but that was last year. This season, but last year.
Fucking brilliant.
And I have one D-back.
All right.
For the added super extra makeup Narnia time that was in the Liverpool game, did you happen to see what happened in España? Real Madrid tied 1-1 deep into stoppage time. About 12 seconds prior to the end of stoppage time, a ball gets crossed in. So in the attacking phase, with the potential for a chance on goal, the whistle gets blown, and 2 seconds goes by from leaving foot to ball in back of net from Jude Bellingham. And the referee ended the fucking game. Tied 1-1. Ball was in the attacking third, and a cross was being put in as he blew the whistle. And
Oh, that's some bullshit.
after it left the player's foot, it was in the back of the net in literally 2 seconds.
And he had already blown the whistle.
And he had already blown the whistle as the player was crossing.
Wow.
Which, dickhead, you don't do that, especially in what referee blows while a team has a chance?
Keeper saves it. The ball gets
And
knocked
I
away.
get it.
Immediately blow the whistle. The ball gets knocked out of the box, blow the whistle.
But if you're 5-0 up and clean through on goal running from half field, blow the whistle, fine. This is 1-1. So, I mean, the ultimate antithesis to what happened at Liverpool was obviously the African referee that had the heat stroke and blew it like 82 minutes. It was like,
Right.
fuck this, we're out.
Game's over.
Game's
Sorry.
over.
It was
Fuck
hot.
it. No, he was suffering from heat stroke. It was a big deal, but
Yeah.
it still is funny. This referee's just a fucking dickhead.
Yeah.
It just
You
D-back,
don't
man.
know.
Just don't
Maybe
be a
his
cunt.
parking was about to expire.
The best bit of the game is goals. Stop doing shit to take goals away.
Yeah, don't take goals away.
Come on, man.
Do not take goals away. Alrighty. Thank you so much for joining us, everybody. Next up, we're going to continue the stream and have the EFL show.
Yes.
And, of course, after that, we're going to do Injury Time, where we preview the weekend's action. We talk about our adopted club. Also, a little bit of a change at the top of the Scottish Premier League, by the way.
Yes.
And we will talk about the beers we've been drinking. Should somebody want to find Injury Time, Mr. Graham, how'd they go about doing it?
It's very easy. It's patreon.com/DU Football Show. And you just sign up to that $1 tier. You get all that extra goodies.
And
Can I tell you what's not on top of the Scottish Premiership?
What's that?
Remember the thing I shared in the Drunkard United, which you should get on, Drunkard United FC on Facebook, that closed group. The Hearts, was it Hearts midfielder that got, after scoring the goal, got the pie thrown at him. He caught it and ate it in one awesome motion, one William Wallace looking motion. They were at Hearts Stadium. Yeah, for that. During the post match, said he only rated the pie 1 out of 10. Don't be rating your own pies that way, man. So that pie is not on top of the Scottish Premiership, I'll tell you that.
That should have been your D-back of the week. Who goes around putting out 1-star reviews on free pies?
Or if only it was an IB supporter, the away supporters that threw the fucking pie at him, that I was going to be talking about an Injury Time. But good job, guys. Good timing. Great comedic timing. You all are on fire.
Hey, Sam, guess what?
What?
One day there won't be any more penguins.
I think we're going to run out of puffins first. I think your sadness should be placed elsewhere here.
Puffins.
Podcast! Until next week, everybody.
Good night.
All right.
Welcome back.
Yeah, talking about that Monaco.
Come on, man.
Taking
the world by storm, bruh.
I almost bought her the Purple Passion one, the grape with the cognac.
Yeah.
Grape with the yak.
There we go.
Purple drink.
Don't know if she was ready for purple drink, though.
Alan Brody. He's replying back to Alan Brody. Funniest part is that you thought it would take until tomorrow. Oh, God. Are there more meme stuff that we haven't noticed yet?
That
I'm
was
sure there
pretty
are.
Brilliant. I mean,
It was very
The
fast.
fact
you
that he
had
got
said
the...
you had said smiling and peeing yourself, and somebody put that up literally in 3 minutes.
Not somebody. Who do you think it was?
It was either Taylor or Christian.
Come on.
Christian? Taylor?
It's Taylor.
It's Taylor. Yeah.
It's always Taylor should be your first choice. Christian should be your second choice. Although I am worried about Christian because he hasn't been like participating a lot lately, and like his heart just hasn't been in it lately. Guys.
Jesus Christ.
We are a bunch of morbid fucks on this show.
Oh, buddy.
Yeah, so Graham, a little bit of that Malort stuff was
Ray says,
performative.
Ray says after getting berated, he pees in pants and smiles. Honey Badger don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
That was
Christian goes out.
so, Mr. Graham. A bit of that was
Christian, type your address in the comments in case we need to call you an ambulance.
a bit of that was performative because I talked with the head of national sales for CH Distilling, which is Malort.
Okay.
I met with them on Tuesday. That's when I got that book.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So,
Huh?
so we are working on some things. Working on some things. Potential interview. Kind of just some fun shit. But
Nice.
we are
Yeah,
working
she's
on
like,
things.
oh yeah, I'm sure we can get you an interview with the CEO. I'm like, bitch, I want free Malort. I want to never pay for your product ever again. And every time they'll come out with a specialty thing, send it to us. I also want merch. Give me some merch to give away.
Apparently, the crazy seasonals and the reason why they're so expensive is they are legitimately
charity things.
It's all charity.
That's tight.
They don't even take a penny for themselves. It is 100% charity.
Christian started typing his address. But you know I love you, Christian. and that's
100%.
why
We all
have
do. That's why we
jokes.
give you shit. Of course. And we really do hope you're okay, bro.
I worry about you all the time, dude.
And when she says it, now she actually means it. Within the last 4 months, you've been weighing very heavy on her
He
mind.
said, take the second right, go
Hashtag
50.
sound check.
He goes, take the second right, go 50 yards to the house on the left, past the Gambrels corn maze.
Yeah, thanks. That's not where I live.
Not far.
No. You'd be close. You'd be in the vicinity, but you
Yeah.
wouldn't be at my house.
Yeah, no, it's actually a left. You go past the
All
Gambrel-
right. Okay. We don't need to get them any closer.
Oh, everyone's allowed to know where we live.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not quite in a gated community yet.
Just
Come on.
show up at the studio whenever they want to.
We need that sweet Malort money to come in before I get the gates.
Sorry, just
No.
Yeah.
answering a few things.
You all
You
right?
guys were
Okay,
talking.
sometimes we don't know. Like maybe we just talked over you and you're all mad at us when you get quiet, or you're all on your phone. It's 50-50. Notice he and I both went like, don't hit us, Daddy. My God.
But then I heard you say, kind of, please hit me, Daddy.
One day I'll never be kissed again. What? That's the back of your hand. It's looking kind of patchy.
It's the back of-
Is that a liver spot?
Ooh.
Why don't I make it be really close and you can take a look?
You want a closer view?
Hold on.
That's funny.
Christian, since Big Sam has been all about conspiracy theories this week, you know you've never seen me. Oh, Taylor. I'm sorry. Taylor Thompson. Since Big Sam has been all about conspiracy theories this week, you know you've never seen me and Christian in the same room at the same time. Would be the ultimate long game. Except Taylor, I went to college with Christian.
Yeah.
I went to Germany with Christian. Fairly certain I went to Scotland and Paris with Christian.
Cool.
He's in the fraternity to my sorority. That long con ain't gonna play. Or maybe it does. And it's been going on for 36 years. And I'm in on it. surprise. I'm not really your wife.
I was just really? Was it that easy? Are we done? Fuck yeah!
He says it's the ultimate.
Just keep producing the show.
Long game.
Just keep producing the show. We're good. All right, let's get into another show.
Yes, let's do
You
it.
warmed up again.
Yep.
You're welcome.
Mr. Graham, would it shock you to hear that there's been some shuffling around at the top yet again in the championship?
No, of course not.
You know? And then, of course, we got to talk about the FA Cup as well. We'll
Yes.
do that in parting words.
Well done.
You know? It's
You knew I
quickly-
didn't have it ready.
I was going to say, it's quickly, that's what I do. I'm looking out for you. Admin, not our strong suit. It's kind of how I roll, man.
Thanks, bro.
You know? It's what I do. I am here for you as a friend. Life decisions. I help you. I'm your mentor. Let's start the show.
Born in the land of Bowie, Maryland. Bred to be a fan of fucking Everton. Punch you in the eye and drink your rye. Sam Houston.
Sam Houston.
Arsenal fans have another Sam. Right day, the fucking Gooner Graham. Stump of a lord. Look straight in shorts. Sam Graham, hey.
Sam Graham.
Fucking United! Fucking United!
Hello and welcome to DU Does EFL, a completely biased brief recap of the English Football League as told by two common American schmucks. I am your host, Sam Houston, and across the way from me, Mr. Samuel Graham. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing very well, thank you. How are you?
I am doing great, and of course, on the ones and twos, contemplating all of life, producer Mel.
I wonder, on the day you see your last sunrise, will you know it's your last and will you appreciate it?
I know we're going on tonight. The Day That I Die by Good Charlotte.
Oh, that's a good one.
This is a good song.
Don't add to it.
No, 100%. And then you know what? We can go out on an extra song.
I was going to do REM. Everybody hurts.
We could do it.
Text Carly.
Sometimes.
Yes, you should have a fourth. I think that'd be a great idea.
You know what we should do?
And may your child.
Follow that up with Dropkick Murphys, I Wish You Were Here. About dead loved ones.
And then just close out with a theme to MASH.
I've been sent. My father loved MASH. I'd cry my eyes out.
Suicide is painless.
Carly, and may your
It brings
fourth
on
child
many
be a masculine
changes.
child. We're recording at the DU Public House just outside the nation's capital. You can check us out wherever you get your podcasts. And, of course, streaming live every single Monday night. Should you want to chat with us, there are as many ways that you can. Mr. Graham, tell the good people how they can get in touch.
Listen to the other show. Fucking get the addresses from there. So, it's at DU Football Show on all the social media, of course, and dufootballshow@gmail.com to get in touch via email. And like I said, a lot of the people that are super active in Drunken United FC, we really want to grow that community because it really is a ton of fun. We've got a
Just
few.
come in and watch.
We've got a few hundred members. Yeah, I mean it's a lot of fun.
You don't even have to participate if you don't want to. Just watch the shenanigans.
Just be
It's
the Michael Jackson Thriller meme. Just to eat
It's
the
just sitting there with the
It's-
popcorn. Yeah,
daily laugh out loud funnies from our greatest listeners.
it really is good stuff. So make sure you check that out. And a lot of the ones that regularly post and shit talk and do all that kind of stuff are lower league supporters.
Yeah.
Well, at least for now. Occasionally they're in the big time.
We are drinking the exact same shit we just drank during the last show, so let's get to it.
Championship Corner!
I've fallen and I can't get up. Oh no!
And one day she'll push her last button.
And the beauty is too, Mr. Graham, is that's what's great about the live stream is the live stream gets to hear all the fuck ups. It'll just be gone in the wind. Like another life, like another snowflake just floating away.
I wasn't talking about the board. I was talking about you because you'll be dead at some point.
You know, and
That happens. So you know you died twice, right? You die, and then the last time someone speaks your name, you know that old saying? Well, she'll push her last button with you, and you'll be gone. And then when Rob inevitably fills in on the show because you're dead, she'll push her last button here too at some point because I'll be dead.
I was going to say.
No one will hear it because y'all won't save the show.
I was going to say the way I die will definitely be her pushing my fucking buttons. It's definitely the way I'm going to be fucking going.
A little whiskey.
Yeah, you need a little whiskey there?
Please.
There you go.
To deal with this? Absolutely, I do.
Very good. So the Foxes lose again. They lose 2-1 to QPR, who's down fighting to stay out of the relegation zone.
Yeah, it's an interesting loss, that one. I wonder if the bit of the FA Cup run is starting to catch up with them. If the legs are getting tired or injuries, like what is it that's happening with Leicester right now? Now every team goes through a blip here or there. We've seen, even in the Premier League, we've seen City's performances not be particularly up to snuff, although they are getting over the line. I think Leicester will right the ship. They've been so dominant this season. I think they'll get it together and they'll still win the championship. But it's just interesting to see with teams like Southampton and Leeds who are playing so well of late that this blip is coming at a really bad time for Leicester.
So the four-way battle, of course, starts to heat up even more. Now, Leeds, they do continue their struggle in Yorkshire derbies. They end up drawing Huddersfield. They've drawn Rotherham. They've drawn Sheffield Wednesday. Like, their local Yorkshire side clubs, they seem to be drawing them all, which is not going well for them. So, and it's all bottom of the table teams that they should be beating. So they could have found themselves already in first place if that wasn't the case.
Yeah, 100%.
And Ipswich has moved back into second place as they beat Plymouth 2-1, and Southampton score in the 96th minute to win a barn burner over Birmingham City.
Well, being Liverpool's feeder club, they were offered Liverpool time there at the end of the game. I think there was only an allotted 4 minutes in that one.
Very good.
I have no idea how many minutes were in stoppage time. I'm just taking a piss.
So at the bottom of the table, you have QPR, Birmingham, and Huddersfield Town, and Stoke all sit at 38 points, but Stoke is the one in the relegation zone because they're all separated just by goal difference. Then from there, those four teams are only 1 point behind Blackburn and Millwall, who are in 17th and 18th place, and only 2 points behind Plymouth, who is in 16th place.
And Plymouth is a promoted team into the championship this season.
Yeah. It was Plymouth, it was Rotherham, and it was Sheffield.
Sheffield Wednesday, yeah.
So Sheffield had beaten the posh. It wasn't Peterborough that they beat. I forget who it was they beat, but they beat
the playoff final.
In the playoff final, where the two legs of it where they were down, they were down like 4-1, and they ended up winning 6-4 or some crazy shit like that.
If they can keep it together Wednesday, we'll definitely have a proper Sheffield derby next season, because
they won't. Sheffield's in 19th right now. They're in the worst shape. Like, Rotherham's dead last, but Sheffield Wednesday's not good. Yeah, it's really those four that I mentioned that are kind of battling it out. Let's go ahead and go on to League One.
Tough.
Pompey beat Oxford at home 2-1. They continue their 7-point lead over League One. Bolton and Derby are just behind them in the standings. And here's one
I'd really like to see Bolton come back up.
I didn't know this, and you had mentioned it, and my apologies for not keeping up on it. Reading has just gotten another 2-point deduction. I say another because they've received 3 deductions in points so far this season, surrounding around the fact that they can't fucking write checks. Yeah. But it didn't matter because they went out and beat Carlisle, last place Carlisle, 3-1. And they're sitting pretty right now. They're like in 15th, 16th place.
Yeah, but their financial situation at Reading, do you know how... Okay, shit TV. I told you a long time ago. Carly and I, to sometimes feel better about ourselves when we were feeling down, we would turn on 90 Day Fiance.
Right.
Because all of those people are fucking train wrecks.
Right.
Right? If you ever feel bad about your financial situation or where you stand in the grand scheme of the economy, just take a look at Reading. You'll feel a lot better about yourself because they can't even play their fucking players, really, at the moment. It's so bad. It's so bad. I wouldn't be surprised if more point deductions were coming, honestly, this season.
Right. Yeah. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And let Let's see here. Oh, the one thing that's definitely worth mentioning, one of the game in hands that's going to be played in the midweek. Tuesday, you have fourth place host third place with Barnsley are at home to Bolton.
I said I really want to see Bolton climb the leagues again and come back. It's been a long old time since they've been gone, and I miss the days of like JJ Okocha lighting it up, for them and that kind of stuff. I'd love to see them come back up, and I really hope they come through this game.
Yeah, for me, it's Pompey win the league, Bolton come in second.
Yeah,
That's
and Pompey's another one we've talked about many times. We have an affinity for. We want them to come back up.
Yep.
So yeah, I just really hope they come through these this midweek.
The English gentleman, Bill, who's the Palace supporter that I was talking to at Dark Horse this weekend, told him that like kind of our like League One side is Pompey and how we went to Frenton Park, and he was like, "Oh, you went all the way down there?" I was like, "Yeah, we did." He goes, "Brilliant fucking ground, isn't it?"
Oh yeah,
like, yeah, it was.
Yeah, and I being American, he's English.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, being obviously American, I always find it funny, because Europe runs deep in their history and their stuff. The United States is expansive. So whenever somebody says, "Oh, you went all the way down," it was a fucking 2-hour train ride.
Yeah,
it was
really
actually
wasn't that bad.
Half the distance from here to New York.
Right.
Easy.
Yeah.
Easy days.
Yeah.
My commute to work is about a third of the trip to New York.
Yeah, exactly. Ain't that hard?
Not bad. Oh, you went all the way down there? Like, how did you live? It's like, what are you talking about?
Getting out to Hagerstown takes 2 hours from here.
We're still in the same state.
Yeah, it's not that fucking hard.
Come on, man.
We'll be all right.
Yeah,
it's not that big.
Easy days.
Richmond's 3 hours. It's really not that bad.
2-hour train ride? Pfft.
Huh.
I'd go down there for lunch.
Yeah, exactly. We'd think fucking nothing of it. Fucking nice and easy. League Two, Wrexham finally had their home game against Accrington Stanley. You know how Aki had raised their ticket prices,
Yes.
and then Wrexham gave them a bunch of shit about it.
Yes.
Well, Wrexham beat the ever-loving crap out of Aki 4-0.
Bittersweet, obviously. We want Wrexham up to do well with everything surrounding that club and the way they've been treated, obviously, and sending them down and down and down over the years. And happy to see them back in the league system, obviously. But Aki are so near and dear to us that, come on. I would have preferred like a 2-2 draw and everybody's happy.
Apparently, Aki has let go of a couple of long-standing stewards of the club. And
don't start doing this stuff.
Yeah, there's been a lot of the owner deactivated his Twitter account. So yeah,
just mute people, man.
Yeah, well, I'm going to want to hear from Ben on that, because it's we've often said that Aki was playing above their weight class while they were in League One, and it's a very, very small club. So you just kind of want to see him survive. You just don't want to see him go down.
Mm-hmm. It'd be very, especially if there's that owner is being that way. It'd be a long old hill to climb to get back into the league system if that's how he's treating the club.
Right. And you got to keep those guys around. Like those are the guys that hold the fucking place together, even if they're not playing a lot.
They're the glue of the community, right. Really.
They're not going to ask for a ton of cash. Like they just, don't get rid of them. Even you let them stay past their welcome. Those kind of players, you let them stay. But like you saw, we talked about with like our clubs, Leighton Baines was probably done for a good year or two, but he stayed. Seamus Coleman's hurt a ton right now. Seamus Coleman ain't being let go from Everton. Seamus Coleman will retire or choose to walk away and go to another club. But like you get those kind of guys, they're good for the fucking locker room. They're good for the culture. They're good for the young lads. They keep everybody in fucking check. Like, don't be doing that shit. That's not good to hear at all. The Stags of Mansfield Town beat Newport, and they stay at top of the table. Stockport had their game postponed. And then there was one fun thing. Forest Green Rovers were starting to get themselves out of it. They were really on a good little run there, and it looked like they were in striking distance. The game they needed was this one at Grimsby Town, and they lost 1-0 in a massive 6-pointer.
That's tough.
That would have flipped it. That would have flipped the script for them right there.
Yeah, absolutely. You just wonder what a steak would have done.
Exactly. Now,
I'm not going to let that go either.
I know you're not.
I never will let that go.
You like to beat a joke into the ground, man.
100%.
Oh, Mr. Graham, parting words. Let's talk FA Cup.
Yes. So the FA Cup 5th round happened last week, obviously. We already spoke about Coventry and Maidstone. Maidstone getting knocked out. We were too depressed to not talk about it last Monday.
Oh, we had to.
But that's what the week started off with, was Coventry beating Maidstone 5-0 and advancing to the quarterfinals of the FA Cup. You had Leicester 1-0 over Bournemouth after extra time. Like I said, I think that kind of played into some of this cup run has kind of played into some of their bad form.
Yeah, agreed.
I think they've been obviously a trophy they've won recently. I think they're putting a lot of stock into this trophy again. And I kind of think that they, our league position, nobody's going to catch us. We can really put everything we have into this cup run and just maintain.
Right.
Problem is they haven't really been maintaining.
Well, because also they can win the league, be back in the Prem,
and be in the Europa League.
And be in Europa League because you won the FA Cup. That is a bunch of extra money right away that you're able to immediately invest into the club and get yourself back to the comfortably in the middle of the table like they had been for the longest time. Hell, not even comfortably middle of the table for the longest time, still battling for Champions League after they had won the league.
Yeah, like for 3 or 4 years.
They were in and around it. It was just the year they went down where it all just fucking fell apart.
Well, I mean, COVID fucked them because all of the owners of the club are all tied into the King Power duty frees in Asia, all over the Asia, and actually I think the Middle East as well. But nobody was traveling.
Right.
They had some of the strictest travel regulations in the world, obviously, in that part of the world.
Especially in the East.
So they literally weren't making any money. The ass end fell out of their business completely.
Yeah.
So they just had nothing. They had nothing to invest in the club.
Yeah.
It was, it literally was gate receipts is all they were making. Like this, that's a tough spot to be in. Newcastle advanced past Blackburn on penalties. Martin Dubravka being the old hero, saving a penalty there.
Good, and then possibly a good backup keeper.
Yeah, could be if Kelleher didn't exist. Manchester City 6-2 over Luton Town. Erling Haaland with 5 goals. So if Manchester United thought for a second they were going to win this past weekend. Just take a gander at what they did. City woke up.
5 goals in like 52 minutes.
Yeah.
He got subbed off at the 60th minute.
And was pissed about it. Then you also had on Wednesday Chelsea getting past Leeds 3-2 in another odd rivalry.
I'll tell you what, Leeds had every chance and they
fucked it. Yeah.
But Leeds took it to them, and Chelsea looked scared in their own fucking building, man. I mean, especially that second half, other than the game-winning goal for Chelsea, it was all fucking Leeds. Leeds dominated the fucking play.
Which also came very late as well. 90th minute.
Yeah, fucking at the death. Conor Gallagher.
That winner came, yeah. Wolves got past Brighton 1-0, which is why I thought Brighton was going to win it the weekend. They didn't. I thought they were going to try to rebound. Manchester United 1-0 over Nottingham Forest because they love to paper over cracks at that club. And then Liverpool 3-0 over to their feeder club, Southampton. I think there's some controversy there, and they shouldn't be able to play each other, personally.
True.
There's too intertwined of a business relationship there.
We will talk the actual quarterfinals of the FA Cup on Injury Time in a couple of weeks when there are only 5 games going off in the Prem.
Because of the quarterfinals of the FA Cup.
Precisely.
So we'll do a preview show, Injury Time, our preview show for everything. We'll preview those games as well as the actual Premier League fixtures that are taking place.
Yeah, which unfortunately for me now means, depending on what Liverpool do in Europe, we may very well be playing our last 2 games of the season. Will be a midweek Merseyside derby, and then you guys. So for
hopefully again you'll be safe and I can walk out 6-0 one more time this season.
Hopefully we're safe and hopefully Liverpool's out of because I couldn't handle it if Liverpool fucking won the title on my fucking ground. God, that would.
No, they're supposed to lose the title at Everton, as you've told us so many times.
They did.
Hopefully you can do your boy a solid.
I would love to do my boy a solid.
By beating Liverpool at Goodison 1-0, just need it 1-0, and then roll over and fucking die because you're safe. And we beat you 6-0 and win the league on goal difference.
Especially with how quiet your stadium is, we'll all be all hammer time drunk and singing Spirit of the Blues. And it'll sound like the entire fucking stadium. Fuck. You'll probably start singing it with us because you'll be like, fuck yeah, winning the title.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Next up is the aforementioned injury time. We're going to go ahead and talk about our adopted club. We're going to talk about a little bit about our fantasy soccer league, and of course the beers and alcoholic drinks, the canned cocktails we're drinking.
Off beer.
And one more time, Mr. Graham, should somebody want to find injury time, how they go about doing it?
It's very simple. It's patreon.com/DU Football Show. Just sign up to that $1 $5 tier. You get all the extra content, everything that we have to offer. And just, all in all, just more laughs.
And everybody, thank you so much for joining us on the live feed tonight. We will see you next week.
Ton of fun, guys.
All right, we're done recording the show, but we're still live.
Okay, excellent.
Because Shore Billy came back and said, I'm back! Sounds like the end of the show. Figures. Don't leave. And so to save him from going back, you want to redo your Shore Billy bit?
Sure. I'll go ahead and...
Sure?
Yeah.
For Shore Billy?
Yes.
All right.
All right. So... Sure, Billy, where I think we may know each other from is your handle sounds very, very familiar. And I know that this show that was a radio show that then became a podcast. And then once one of the hosts got canceled, stopped being a show, was the Big O and Duke show. And I remember there was a Hellbilly and there was a Shore Billy. And I know that Big O and Duke used to record up in Baltimore. So I was wondering if maybe there was a chance that that's where I know you from, because if that's the case, I'm Whiskey Dick. So if you know Big O and Dukes, you would know who the asshole Whiskey Dick is. I'm that asshole. Simply because
I got nothing yet.
Okay,
but
very
he
good.
did say he did try to do injury time. I just do the injury time for free. I tried to do the Patreon, but I have no idea how to sign up. I mean, I'm willing to just let you spend maybe $5 and I'll give it to you for free.
Don't say that. Other people might be watching.
I mean, that goes for anybody. At Melissa Houston, $5.
Oh, just Venmo it?
Oh, yeah. Venmo me $5 at Melissa Houston and I will hook you up. Houston, I'm gonna ruin your entire existence.
Okay, yeah.
It's not him.
Okay, fair enough. That's what I was thinking, because he was trying to figure out where he might have known us from before, and I thought that might be
he
it.
knows you from the Scottish Games or cigar sessions in Middletown.
Yeah.
Was that Scottish? Did I lose it?
No, you lost it. That's
Damn
not
it.
great.
Son of a bitch.
There's one day, Sam, where we can no longer
do I
be.
take Zell? Yes, sure, Billy. I do take Zell.
Mel, handle it, figure it out.
240-216-7746 at almightyMeld_yahoo.com.
We're
That's
like
on the
fucking
interwebs right now. But
drug dealers.
I know.
Absolute drug dealers. We'll take payment any fucking way we can to get you that product.
Gotcha. All right. Well, Short Billy, we do
But
record.
until then,
We do record this.
you're going
but
to have to pay for it.
we do record this, but it gets sent as an email, so it doesn't stream live. So that's it. We're rolling. We got one more show to do, and there's a chance Sam Graham could be home by 12:30.
Yeah, it'd be nice. So I have to get on making that fourth one.
Yeah.
All right. Say goodbye, Sam.
Bye, Sam.
Bye, Sam.